tea meeting. Take it. Okay, take the cards. Okay, what is in this card? Written in this card is number 118, card number 118. It's written creativity to boomerang for self-discovery. So this one card is worth 10 pages when it is explained and written. Alright. So creativity boomerang for self-discovery. Okay. Even by early childhood, 99% of people are given the idea of a homomorphic external punishing, rewarding God. Okay, alright. So that is from childhood onwards, people, human beings, ancient to modern times are given the idea of a homomorphic. Morph meaning body. Okay. Homo meaning human beings. Homomorphic, external, punishing, rewarding God. This is the pattern of God actually promoted by the religions, okay, into which a child is inducted into or taken as a child is born into. As the child is even otherwise trained to accept the provided ideas, like for example, the child asks, what is it? Then the answer comes, a rose. And the child usually do not ask why it is called a rose. So too, in case of the deity or the god, etc., when the mother or the father or the others are talking about the god, the child does not ask what is God. Okay? Like the child never asks what is this rose, why the rose, why this is called a rose, why something is called a god. The child does not ask. Child simply grasps the word God. And later, the child never questions it. At a later point of time, a certain thing is introduced to the child as it is a creative product. There is something called creativity. Maybe in higher classes, I don't know whether in the schools and colleges the students are taught the concept of creativity. They talk about Albert Einstein or Isaac Newton or Edison or Ramanujan or rarely Indian models. Okay. Always to Indian students, only the foreign models of creative people are normally talked about. But even there, the term creativity is seldom used. Yeah. Even when there are talks about Albert Einstein, nobody talks about the aspect of creativity or little higher originality. That's why great majority of human beings, maybe 99.7% of human beings are not really creative, or even if a little bit of creativity, very rarely, seldom original. There is no originality. There is a lot of difference between creativity and originality. You know? Creativity is about, of course, making something or forming something, producing something, generating something out of the available. Like poetry is written out using the available words, or mechanical things are devised, taking the available things or taking the available things and modifying them and resetting them in a certain form. Like for example a gun, or a machine, or a lathe. They are all made of, let's say, iron, and then resetting the design of that iron components and arranging it in a form. This is called lathe. They are all highly creative products. Okay? But originality is mostly containing significant aspects or elements or components in a thing which are not normally present very visibly in the external world. Okay. It is originated. So the concept of origin meaning forming from sort of nowhere, no obvious anywhere. It is not easy to identify the sources. Okay. In that case, for example, poetry or music or philosophy of various kinds, they are all original. It is originated from sort of nowhere. So this card, one of the cards, it talks about these two aspects. The child neither has creativity nor originality, so it is just given words and concepts and ideas and languages. That's what most children are trained in, and that's what most schooling is. That's why seldom highly schooled, highly educated people are very seldom creative, and definitely very, very, very rarely original. That is this card. So children should be inducted into the concept of creation or creativity, discovery. Discovery is again different. Discovery is something that is hidden, which is uncovered. So creativity, discovery, originality, and invention. All these things are to be explained to the children in the schools. Then the society will become much more evolved. Then only a real shift in civilization is further possible. Right now, great lot of things are filling the operating functional environment. Okay, from pencil to smartphones and the environment of a normal person. And then they are told, they have seen a whole lot of other things through the internet and all that. And people are familiar with that, but their minds are still more or less primitive. There is no real evolution of humanity in terms of the fundamental attitude and values and characteristics, character. There is no evolution of character in the collective consciousness of humanity. Instead there is a clear deterioration. So what I am suggesting from Jeevi-Yoga is that in the schools should start introducing the higher order evolution concept of creativity, originality, discovery, spirituality, enlightenment, and so on and so forth. What the world is waiting for, what the governments are waiting for, what the social leaders are waiting for. That's all. This card. All right. Yes.